Paul, I don't necessarily think we need to go over old ground in terms of Tuesday. You made your feelings clear after that. But has it been a case of not necessarily sweeping it under the carpet, but learning from it and trying to focus ahead for Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I may have a little bit of regrets on my post-match, but I'm asked an opinion. I've got to be honest how I see the game and where I see it went wrong, and I stick by what I said. But our first half performance was hugely disappointing. So we made the tactical change. We put Tomo on to go onto the sitter. He done really well stopping the sitter playing, and we were better second half. But the performance was disappointing. However, Blackpool were very good, and I think it's been a good eye-opener for everybody. We played the two teams that have come down, that like no team's going to come, or home or away, is going to be like, oh, like we're Derby County, this will be an easy day. There's no such game. And I think the two games have proven that. We've obviously made mistakes within the game, and maybe Tuesday night, you know, we had not 4 debutants, but it was only their second game. For 2 of them, it was their start. We just weren't as smooth as I would like. It's probably the nicest way to put it. And in fairness, I didn't use the game as a get fit game, but it was let's change a couple of things. We obviously put Josh in, changed the 2 wing backs, Kane and Callum, and at times we were probably a little bit too high too early, which didn't allow the 10, and it sort of caused us a few problems really. So we tried to address it at half time, and we tried to address it since training. There's no massive disaster, but apart from the fact of you want to win football matches. So we've done some good work with them the last couple of days. So hopefully the lads who play Saturday are a little bit clearer. We've took a little bit of grey out of it. So so hopefully we can perform at a level to come out with a positive result.
In terms of what you've seen on the training ground and in the meetings so far, have you seen the reaction and sort of response that you've wanted to see from the group?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's difficult straight after the game because everyone's really emotional. So if I spoke to you after the game and said, look, you should have done this, your natural defence is, as it always is, well, hang on a second, he didn't do that. So the whole idea of, and this is the thing with team sport, like it's easy to manage a team winning every week. It's a piece of cake, isn't it? But after the games, you speak briefly, then you watch the game back. So like me and my staff, the coaching staff, we didn't, as you well know, leave till very late. We watched the game back straight after the game. Picked up some really good things, which we really liked, but there would have been better things if the movements were right and everything like that. So we helped the lads with that. But then we have to show the team where we see it. So look, this is fine. You've decided to do that. I don't want you to do that. I want you to do this. I've asked you to do this. And the reason I've asked you to do this is because he's doing that at that time. He's doing that. It was just a little bit, there was too many off-the-cuff decisions possibly, which made Blackpool have a real confidence. Like in fairness, the first time they cross it, it goes in. That shouldn't happen against us. So that was disappointing. And then it's sort of like we had a massive wobble. That's the honest truth. We just didn't play with any confidence. So the idea of team meetings, and then we had the defenders had a meeting, the midfielders had a meeting, is just to make the points of, look, these are why we're asking you to do this, because this happens when you do it. So then you just reinforce good clips, say, look, this is why we do this movement, this is why we try and play this way on this side of the pitch. And obviously the lads take it in. You think they take it in. I mean, I'm going to do a test with them now in the team meeting to make sure everyone's fully listening to what we want. But that's always the way. With a team, with any sport, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if someone's out of position and you can't do the switch because of it, then it causes a problem. Or if you're not brave enough to throw it forward and get hold of it up top, that's a problem. So it's about this week really about showing the lads where we went wrong collectively. I'm part of it, obviously. And reaffirming really the positives of the play, because we had 5 or 6 brilliant bits of play, but 5 or 6 at home isn't enough. You should have 20. But reaffirming them, and look, if you do this is why we're really hard to play against. This is why we're really good. So that's what the whole reason for the meetings are, not to embarrass people, but to just show them, look, we need to get these bits right. If not, you're not giving yourself a big enough chance to win. And against lesser opposition, you might get away with it. But so far, we've made probably 5 big mistakes in 2 games, and we've been punished brutally with 3 of them. So we need to obviously eradicate mistakes, like every team does. But we also need to just tighten up on a few things.
Does that in some way give you a bit of comfort that you're not being ripped apart? It's the fact that it's those sort of individual errors at the moment which has cost you?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm disappointed because no one wants to lose back-to-back games. That's an absolute no-no. So I'm disappointed on that. The Wigan game was palatable because I thought we played well, and the goal at the end was 1-1. I honestly believe there was only one team that was going to win it. It was the first time they came into our box, so it was a shock. That is palatable. Disappointing. We have to drive performances. We don't coach players to, necessarily miss a one-on-one or, So as a group, I think we were disappointed, but we could see good things. I think it was more disappointing against Blackpool because for 3-4 minutes we didn't get a kick. Man, at home that should never happen against any team, even if it's respectfully Man United. You should not get the ball. However, what I will say is when I watch the game back and there isn't any crowd noise or anything to affect you, because it does affect you as humans in a good way and a bad way at times, when you're watching it in a neutral environment, and the lads have said this, it wasn't as bad as it felt. And there will be times in a game where the opposition have the ball and you can't press and you just have to, like teams do against us pretty successfully, mid-block and just say, look, for a minute we can't have it. We can't have the ball every minute. So if we're going to press, we just have to press from a good shape and only when you can affect the play. So that was harder for us as a group. I mean, all of us in the building that, I thought that we got a bit embarrassed first half. I'm not saying we did second half, but we did first half. So the players that came on at half time done really well, had a positive effect. But it was just disappointing first half. So in a very long answer to your question, I was disappointed with the result. I was disappointed with the performance first half, but the other 3 halves of play I haven't been disappointed with, but I would much rather score 10 goals and win comfortably, obviously. But so that's what we've been trying to work with the lads, just trying to show them, but also, you've got to keep the lads confident and because we've had 1 out of 46 league games, so it's just got to be put into context a little bit.
And the beauty of it all is, you've got a game again to put it right the weekend. Sun's out, short trip for you to Burton. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, well, you just want the next game to put it right, really. So you just want a really good performance and you want a positive result. So last season we went there, we had a pretty good performance and we just lost our man on 1 set piece and we threw away 2 points. At home, I thought it was a really tight game. I think, if I remember rightly, Birdie won us a penalty, and that was, there wasn't much between the teams. They've recruited well this summer. They look organised and fit. Obviously, I saw them against Leicester. They don't give up much of the ball. They don't give up many opportunities. They defend really well. So it's going to be a really tough game. But League One is really tough. So, but the sad reality is we've come off the back of 2 defeats. So we always need a really good performance, but possibly even more so because it's a local derby, because obviously both teams are up for it. Both teams have lost both games. Both, everything's, it's sort of like, it feels like a cup final already, and it's Saturday number 2. So I won't make it out as it is that game, but we do need to, get better because we need to collect points.
You mentioned there that Burton have recruited quite well in the summer. They've done quite a lot of maintenance to the squad. How different a proposition do you see them in terms of their qualities compared to last year?
They've probably got a lot more strength in depth. They've got a lot more experience, I think. So in that respect, I mean, I know a few of their players very well. So that's sort of how I see it. The team should represent the manager, really. I think that eventually that happens, after a window or 2. And I think they represent him very well. And I thought against Leicester, against arguably the best team in the Champ, they done well to reduce them to very few goal-scoring opportunities. I know Leicester had loads of the ball, but they had a really good shape. They all were very well coached. So, and yeah, he has added good players there. So I think he's recruited well, and like I said, it will be as hard, if not harder game than last time we went there.
And just lastly, in terms of the squad, similar group to the last couple of games to pick from?
Yeah, there's nothing exciting really, apart from the fact I think, well, on the exciting front, Tom and Sib should be back in training on Monday, which is good. Obviously, we've got Nat back in, which is good. Because I feel currently, respectfully of the squad, we just lack pace, like proper pace. And Sibs, Tom, and Nat are probably our speedboats. So it'd be nice to have them back because there's different ways to win a football match, but no one likes playing against pace, and hence why we're still trying to recruit, and we still need a couple of 3 players, which the last couple of days have been pretty good on, but I've got excited too early, too soon on many. So hopefully next week we get a couple of even our old players back who are very good to have a more competitive squad, because we've got another big week next week.